What's good? Y'all know what it is. It's your boy CJ Goodfella back on Motor City Sports Talk. We back on the Detroit Lions grind. Just doing some preliminary free agent talk. And it's a lot of guys that can be cap casualties. So this is definitely in the preliminary stages. I did this top 5, free agency. I think the free agents the Lions should go after. Some of these guys potentially be franchise tagged, but more not likely. And we could talk about the Lions holes real quick. And in my point of view, I need to get better. And you guys tell me the free agents you would like to see the Lions go after, just based off the list I looked at. But, I think the holes with the Lions, is obviously the front seven is the biggest hole on the team. I like the secondary. Obviously, Tavon Wilson is a free agent, and I'm not sure Miles Killebrew can step in, and maybe Quadre Diggs can step in at strong safety, but I'm not banking on that. Obviously, we need linebacker help, and I wouldn't bring back Tier Whitehead. Paul Warlow, I don't know. For the right price, I'll bring those guys back, but those guys are depth guys. I'm looking for a starting, outside linebacker 2 ways. Up front, we'll talk about bringing who we're gonna bring back in 1 second, but up front, it definitely needs to be revamped. I think more than likely the Lions gonna stay with a 4-3. So we talk about bringing back Ziggy and Nada and what else. But I think the staple of the defensive line is obviously Alshon Robinson. I look at Kerry Hyder and the other kid Zettel. I look at them as depth players. They're not gonna be starters. They're gonna be rotational players. Spence, if he's still here, he's a rotational player as well. Only starter I see, that's currently under contract, in my opinion, that should be starting the front seven, is Alshon Robinson, in my opinion. Ziggy Ansah, I don't know. They believe that he's still healthy enough to produce, and it depends on what money he's producing. But Ziggy Ansah is the top guy on the market. It is to believe that DeMarcus Lawrence will be franchise tagged by the Dallas Cowboys. So, and if you don't address your pass rush on the outside with Ansah, you're going to have to address it in the draft. And then sitting at, 20 or whatever they're sitting at, you're going to have to find some diamonds in the rough. And your first couple selections might have to be pass rushers. So, that's speaking, if the price is right with Ziggy Ansah, I'll bring him back. Maybe on a 2 or 3 year deal, or test the market, and if he don't get what he like, you don't see guys every day like Ziggy Ansah, who can rush the quarterback. And I mean, obviously that takes a need away, and obviously that's a need, but it's not a lot of depth at pass rush and free agency. And with rookies, you never know what you get. You look at Randy Gregory with the Cowboys, he didn't develop. Shane Ray with the Broncos didn't develop. Those are both guys that went a little later in the first round or early in the second or whatever it may be. So, I mean, elite pass rushers go off the board quick. So, in my belief, you bring back Ziggy Ansah. Haloti Ngata, you can bring him back at the right price to give you some more depth. But I don't think you have to bring him back. But if I had to bring one back, it would be Ziggy Ansah up front, in my opinion, But obviously, I like our back end. I do. I like, Quinn. I like Tease Tabor at the 2 corner. Agnew, Quadre Diggs in the nickel. Obviously, I like Darius Slay, who made All-Pro, I believe. And strong safety is just the biggest question in the secondary. Obviously the number 2 corner, but I think Tease Tabor will develop. But the safety is the biggest question. And I don't think they trust Miles Killebrew to step up. Obviously, Don Carey is a utility player. Quadre Diggs made a lot of big hits playing the nickel. I mean, he can be a candidate. But I look at those guys as depth players. You need a starter at the strong safety position. You look at the offense, I have no issues. The running back, obviously, is a big issue. And potentially the left guard and Graham Glasgow sliding to the center. That may be an issue. You can find that later in the draft, in my opinion. We'll get into the free agents that I do like for the Lions, just looking at the preliminary things. We can start off at the top. Isaiah Crowell. I mean, he's a guy that played a lot of snaps for the Browns last year. I might be biased. He went to my college, Alabama State University. And he's a good player. He got power and speed. He played with the Browns last year. So, obviously, he's not going to command top dollar. But, obviously, he didn't have the greatest supporting cast. And Duke Johnson did well. Him and Duke Johnson was a good 1-2 punch. But my thoughts with this running back pick is getting a good running back. You know what I'm saying? Just a solid guy. Potentially you could bring in another veteran, and you could draft 2 rookies. That's what I would do with the Lions. I bring in a solid veteran like Isaiah Crowell, who's very solid through the tape, good pass protection, good run between the tackles. He's a solid guy. He could be your Latavius Murray to the rookie that you draft would be, the kid out of Florida State, Dalvin Cook. So you got a good, solid veteran, with Isaiah Crowell that has started games. Other running backs that may be available, Deion Lewis, Rex Burkhead, Le'Veon Bell. I'm going to stay away from Le'Veon Bell in my opinion. I'm going to trust the process, and draft a younger running back. And if that doesn't work out, Isaiah Crowell is a guy that you can hand the ball off to, and you can draft another running back and bring in another veteran. But I'm not a fan of bringing DeMarco Murray like some people said as well. Isaiah Crowell is still young enough, and he has a lot of potential, and he can start some games for you if your rookie ain't up to par. Nigel Branham, I can't remember, Branham, I think it's his name. I remember he played for the Bills. I mean, he can play 3-4. He can cover. He can play the pass. He's very fast. He's very explosive. He has developed into a 3-down linebacker. And you put him with Jarrett Davis, he's very explosive. This guy is fast. He was mostly known as coming off the edge as a pass rusher. But this dude is developing into a good linebacker. Played with the Eagles, so he has some Super Bowl and some playoff experiences. And my thought of this is bringing in a veteran outside linebacker. You can bring back Whitehead or Paul Warlow for depth. You bring those guys for depth. And then you can draft another young linebacker to play the other side, Jarrett Davis. And you can just, the starters you had at outside linebackers, they can be your backups. And now you're bringing in some fresh blood, especially a guy in Nigel that has playoff experience. I'm going to offense. I thought about Jimmy Graham. If for the right price, obviously, I'm not trusting Eric Ebron. A lot of you guys say, he played better down the stretch. It didn't mean nothing down the stretch, in my opinion. It didn't mean nothing. He wasn't playing for nothing. It was no stress on Eric Ebron. They was out the playoff. There was no stress on him. I think if you get Jimmy Graham, he's an immediate impact. I think him and Stafford can build a rapport similar to what he had with Breeze. I think he still has it. I think he needs to be in a pass first or a better pass offense than Seattle. Seattle didn't know how to really pass the ball and use them. And I think the Detroit Lions could use him for the right price. And if his price is too high and somebody like Green Bay is willing to overpay him, whatever it may be, whatever the team may be, I think Trey Burton from the Eagles, he used to be a quarterback at Florida, I believe. I think he's proven, playing, spelling Zach Ertz in Philly. I think he's proven that he can catch the ball, run routes. He could be what Ebron couldn't be for a cheaper price, in my opinion, or around the same price Ebron's rookie deal is. So if you're not feeling Jimmy Graham, I'm feeling Trey Burton as well. But I think Jimmy Graham and Matthew Stafford will potentially be deadly. And you can play, Eric Ebron and spell him in there. And you can play both him and Jimmy together. And Jimmy has improved as a blocker as well. But you know what you bringing Jimmy in for is that's to occupy the middle of the field. And he's able to occupy the middle of the field. And they're able to use Golden Tate in the right way. And you're able to run the ball. That's a deadly combination with Kenny Galladay, continue to get better. Marvin Jones, Randy Moss, training with him one more year. That's deadly. And that's something you can't pass up, in my opinion. I like Jimmy Graham pick over Le'Veon Bell pick, in my opinion, for the right money. Eric Reed. Eric Reed is a strong safety. He's kind of being blackballed because he supported Colin Kaepernick and took a knee. So y'all know how Martha Ford feels about that. So a conversation would have to be had with Eric Reed and they stance on kneeling. So if they can get past that, which they have other team, other players like the rookie out of Tennessee, Maben. And Reese Maben, a couple other guys that need that Martha asked them not to. So they've been through that before. So Eric Reed you can get him at a steal if he's being blackballed at the NFL, and you have to take risks. And this is a good risk. Eric Reed can play the nickel. He's a big hitter. He's fast. He got good ball skills, and he'll be exactly the strong safety the Detroit Lions looking for. It's another guy that has versatility, and he can play that joker package at linebacker like Miles Killebrew. So he's a devastating big hitter as well. So, that's the identity you need. That could be old Patrick Chung in this defense that the Patriots had and Eric Reed, and I think that'll be a big acquisition. Star Leilute out of the Panthers as a defensive tackle. I like him for the Lions over Nada. He got some speed, some power. He could play the run. And Carolina is known for having a great, interior and good pass rush. He had a little heart issue coming out the draft, but I don't know if that's been an issue. I think he's out of Utah, and he'd be a good pickup for the Lions. Those are guys I like. So let me hear what y'all think and some of y'all free agents y'all want to target. Preliminary.